Okay, what's up? And today we're watching that video. Well, we're not watching that video. We're watching 1,000 players build massive civilization in Minecraft. Now, I've already seen the other one, the most recent one, the rich and poor one, because I just found it one day and I saw somebody else was reacting to it. So I was like, oh, I wonder what this is about. And when I watched it, I just got really sucked into it, and I just kind of wanted to watch it. It was like at night too, while I was chilling, watching stuff on my TV. I got sucked into it, so I was like, you know what? That would have been great to react to, but I was just enjoying it on my own time, right? So instead, I want to watch this other one that he had. This is the one that he made right before this one. So there's some characters that like take place in this one. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, you can go watch it, or you can watch it after this one. But there's some characters, some repeat characters apparently, a lot that are in this one, that are also in that one. So this would be like a little prequel for it. So yeah, let's do it. 1,000 players build massive civilization in Minecraft. Let's see.
In the biggest social experiment ever done in Minecraft, I scattered 1,000
I'm trying to decide if I'll do spoilers
islands to simulate a
for
realistic civilization.
the other
players were
video
given no help
in
or
this.
guidance, and just like in real life,
I want
if
to
you
do
die,
that
you
because I want to
remain
make
dead
some
forever.
commentary about what happened in the other video, probably.
Now, each player has
If
the
I see,
freedom
like,
to
the
do
repeat
whatever
players.
they want, gather resources, join a society, become a dictator, or if it comes down
I'll
to
let
it,
him talk.
go to war. With so many people on each island, anything can happen. But I can promise you one thing. This event ended up having the most entertaining story arc I've ever seen. You do not want to miss this. So pick a nation to root for and enjoy the video. I present to you the 1,000 player civilization experiment. Don't forget, if you want to participate in these videos, join my Discord server, and of course, subscribe to my channel. All right, everyone ready to be teleported?
Shameless plug.
Jump if you're ready. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh, I'm in.
On day one,
I'll go ahead and
all
spoil.
1,000 players were
I'll go
teleported
ahead
to
and
their
spoil.
islands.
So I'll say this now.
Each its
Spoiler
own
warning.
biome. We
you
have
haven't seen the
plains,
most
desert,
recent one,
snow,
you should go
and
watch this
jungle.
before watching this one.
It's huge.
Most players spent the first day
'Cause this is
scouting
gonna be a
their
prequel. I'm
island,
gonna
searching
spoil
for a
some
place
stuff
to settle.
that takes place
but
in the second
almost
one.
immediately, we started to see people dying, and oddly, they were all coming from the snow island. It turned out people were
Really?
freezing to death after getting stuck in powdered snow, which looks
How does
exactly
that
like
work?
regular snow, but sucks you in like quicksand.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Free as friends.
I was about to say, I was like, can't you just
Oh, no.
stand on
Even
it?
worse for the poor people on the snow island, trees were almost nowhere to be seen. The desert island also had very few trees, which players needed if they wanted to get wood. But the places where
sense.
players did find trees quickly became extremely valuable hotspots for groups to settle at and colonize. Look at all these people coming together. Community crafting. They're making progress. Meanwhile, the people on the jungle island had essentially
Okay.
unlimited trees and were thus already thinking about other things. What did you say your plan was?
They were
Gonna take over
wealthy.
the world. This is my right hand man.
Darbo. Hello, right-hand man
Don't
Darbo.
talk to him.
What's up with Darbo?
While having a lot of trees did seem like an advantage at first, many jungle people found the island to be difficult to traverse, given the immense amount of trees and the hostile mobs that would spawn on the surface due to lack of sunlight. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh. This fear of traveling also made it more difficult for jungle people to talk with each other, since players could only read chat messages from people 100
Jofiel.
blocks away from them or
Jofiel
less.
was,
Although frankly, at least they didn't have to see what me
in
and the
the-
admins
another
were looking
video.
at. Lastly,
Queen
we get to the
Jofiel.
Plains Island, and boy was it different from the others. It truly was just the perfect island to live on, with green grass,
Easy mode.
trees, animals, and no natural dangers. Guys, make a
None?
little animal family.
So the other ones had
Not
mobs,
needing
but
to
this
worry
one
about
didn't.
dying as much as everyone else, the people on the Plains Island were among the first to start mining for resources like iron or diamonds. They were
Makes
also
sense.
the first to build up villages and, yes, to create
They're literally
civilizations. Throughout the first day, you could see two main groups starting to come together. One of them, a democracy led by a player named Horace Crown.
Our aim is building the most
Turn this.
beautiful and nicest city on the entire server.
And the second,
Nice.
also a democracy led by a player named Sidefall.
I just want to make
Sidefall.
sure nobody dies.
It was actually kind of odd how similar these two
Hey, yo.
civilizations were.
I think
They were both
Sidefall was
located
doing,
on
like,
the
the
southern
fake news
shore, they
Morgan.
both had democratic elections, and their leaders both
the other
wanted
one,
good for
wasn't
their
he?
own
He was doing,
people.
like,
I just
the
hope nothing happens
Sidefall
to change
news.
that.
If I'm gonna
And
make
he's
an
spreading
Among
like
Us
fake
character-
propaganda
Never mind,
from
I
like
hope they
Island
die.
1.
Soon it was the end of day one. Players across all 4 islands logged off and made plans for the following day. It was on day 2 when civilizations really began to thrive. In the southeast corner of the desert, what used to be an empty patch of grass was turning into the desert's largest nation. Hello, good sir.
Yo, what's up, Ish? The Sultan is back.
You might recognize the player Storming Hell from my first Civilization video where he led a nation called the Sultanate. Well, now the desert dictator is back with the Sultanate 2.0.
Oh, he did that
and
with the
this
small
time
one.
with a population of over 100 people.
I did see
I
those.
want to maintain
I don't watch them, but I
order,
saw that they
peace
exist
in
when I
the
was looking
desert.
at
The
this one.
rules, as established by the Sultan, included wear proper attire, do not eat pork, complete your mandatory work, and most importantly,
not halal,
acknowledge
bro.
the Sultan as the supreme and divinely chosen leader. Moving on, since it was still hard to get food in the dry
Right.
climate, the people of the Sultanate focused on developing different types of food production, like fishing in the surrounding ocean. On top of this,
Nice.
a player named Drip Chicken made a chicken market,
Drip Chicken.
although when I checked it out myself, it turned out to be a very different type of market.
Welcome to Los Pollos Hermanos.
Thank you.
Would you like some totally legal sugar?
Anyway,
What?
we finally go back
I
to
got
the
the spice
Snow
trade,
Island.
the Silk Road.
As I was flying around, I found what I can only describe as a British shrimp. Is the cold climate really the best place for a shrimp?
I mean, depends. But look at my little friend over here, you know?
Wait, who's your friend? Underneath?
Yeah, he's fully here. He's literally...
Oh,
I believe shrimp are fine in like
oh, he's up here
deeper
now.
waters and colder
No,
climates.
No, my fish buddy. He's
If I'm not wrong.
Despite the killer powdered snow and the occasional
Right.
polar bear, the people on the snow island were actually doing pretty well building
Check
settlements
that,
together. Nobody was fighting because everyone had one common enemy, the harsh climate. That being said, it turned out that all of these snow settlements might be a bit more than just little communities. On day 2, rumor was getting out about a conspiracy that, despite them all being
Bruh,
spread out
chill.
across the
I
entire
told you I don't
island, a
wanna do
lot
that.
of these snow settlements were
48?
actually all being run by one single person whose goal was to unify
Freshwater.
the entire snow island under one
Interesting.
mighty empire. This person's name was Alanulo, and he was running this entire
cool
empire recruitment operation from an underground
Interesting.
bunker where he felt he was safe for the time being. Essentially what he would do was hold meetings with people who were already leaders of their own settlements,
I bet
and
I just missed that whole
One-
little section right there.
whose goal was to unify
Okay, who's Alanulo?
out across
What's he
the
doing?
entire a bit more.
I think it was
It
right here.
turned out that all of
Yeah.
these snow settlements might be a bit more than just little communities. On day 2, rumor was getting out about a conspiracy that, despite them all being spread out across the entire island, a lot of these snow settlements were actually all being run by one single person whose goal was to unify the entire snow island under one mighty empire. This person's name was Alanulo, and he was running this entire empire recruitment operation from an underground bunker where he felt
Okay.
he was safe for the time being. Essentially what he would do was hold meetings with people who were already leaders of their own settlements and convince them to merge their civilizations with his empire so they would be stronger together. He would give these leaders orders
He
to
was trying to
fulfill,
unite
and
the
in
Seven
exchange
Kingdoms.
they would be guaranteed high-ranking positions in the empire. If this empire actually succeeds in uniting all 300 people on the Snow Island, it would
biggest?
easily become the most powerful nation in the world. In fact, it would be bigger than the Sultanate and the two Plains democracies combined.
300?
Will this ambitious plan actually succeed?
minute.
Let's see
So
what
there's 4
happens
islands.
in the following days.
Why is there? Can they like switch between islands, or did they get to pick, or were they like randomly sorted into? Because if it's like 1,000 people, right, then that means splitting it up would be like 250 each. But if they have 300, that means someone's short. Where'd they go? All right, hold on. I'm gonna use this opportunity to take the stuff downstairs real quick.
We've now covered.
I'll be right back. All right, let's do this. What?
Covered the politics of every island except for the jungle. So what's going on here? Well, quite frankly,
Except
I
for the
had
jungle.
no freaking idea.
The
It
jungle's
was
a wild
chaos.
place,
There
what
were
can I
about
say?
30 different camps and tribes spread out across the entire island, and a lot of them were in constant fights with each other. Who are the? What is going on? There's
Yeah,
a
what
fight here.
is?
Here's a tribe that imprisoned one of their own members for being, quote, too rich.
I say we tax him and then let him out of jail. Who else?
Boots, take your shoes.
So overall,
Bro,
there was chaos.
what?
Nobody trusted one another, and to add to this, nobody wanted to travel too far
They
into the jungle
imprisoned
because they
him
were
for being
scared of
too
rogue
rich?
tribes and
That
especially
doesn't make sense.
hostile
That's some like
mobs.
Stone
In fact,
Age
we
type
actually had
stuff.
to remove creepers on day 3 because they were killing
It was
too
killing
many
too many
people.
Yeah.
Whoever asked.
Now, there were actually 2 tribes that were considered the most influential in the jungle.
Okay.
The first, a river-based settlement called the Sea People, whose leader was killed almost
Ooh.
immediately by a random rogue tribe. The new leader, Yeatspeak, dedicated his rule to maintaining
That's
order, but
tough.
also to keeping his people
Yeatspeak.
happy by setting up events like stand-up comedy nights.
I got a few
Well, that's
jokes about
fun.
unemployed people. Oh wait, none of them work.
The
That's
second
crazy.
influential tribe was located in the dead center of the jungle, and it was what appeared to be a
Python.
faction revolving around the worship of a player named Seth. Hello, Mr. Seth.
Oh, what's up, bro?
Oh, this is just creepy. You're telling me this isn't a personality cult?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. It's a way of life, all right? It's a religion.
Lastly, as I was flying around, I happened to run
What?
into this guy again.
I'm gonna take over the world.
Believe it or not, he had actually become the leader of a pretty impressive settlement.
What's up?
Granted, there was a lot of internal drama in his tribe.
Isn't that
You
that
see
guy
this,
that
like,
wanted to
really cool
take
tower
over
thing that we're
everything?
building here?
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. It's really cool, isn't it? And do you see our farm over there?
Uh-huh.
It's really
I'm
cool and
100%
nice. Now come over here. Could you tell us what this is?
In short, 2 of Wazik's tribe members built a librarian's tower, and he thought it
Whoa,
was
that's
ugly and
so
wanted to
cool.
burn it down. Now, when I talked to the librarians, they said Wazik
Why would
just
he
doesn't
do
like the
that?
library because he's illiterate. As I said, drama. Now, the jungle
They
wasn't
said
the
yes,
only
he's
place having
stupid.
problems.
He doesn't like it because he's
The
stupid.
Plains Island was
That's
seeing
hilarious.
both a surge in development, this whole place is awesome, but also a rise in tension. The leader of one of the Plains
Okay.
democracies, Horus Crown, had found
Horus
out
Crown.
that the other Plains nation, run by Sidefall, had reached out to the Snow Island looking
Why
for
that?
potential
Why'd he do that?
alliances. Horus Crown did not like that Sidefall
they
was
allowed to
reaching
go
out to other islands
between the other
instead
islands?
of reaching out to him. So he quickly established his own alliance with 2 other Plains settlements, both located on the east side of the island, which would essentially cut off Sidefall's access to most of Plains if a war were to break out.
We think Sidefall is definitely up to something, and we're planning to stop him.
The people living on the Plains Island, who had otherwise taken their peaceful lives for granted, were getting very worried about a potential massive war that would devastate their homes.
Yeah, 100%. KFC is crazy.
Meanwhile, on the desert island, the Sultan storming hell was not happy when he discovered that a group of mountaineers had made their home on the mountains surrounding the Sultanate. So the 2 groups had a meeting to discuss this dispute over land.
Why does the Sultanate have any more right to a plot of land?
Simply, might makes right. We're stronger, so if it comes down to it, may the stronger group win.
People in the desert were starting to get
Ooh.
worried about Storming Hell's tyrannical nature, so some of them moved to a quickly growing democratic nation on the other side of the island. This was Theria, the name derived
Theria.
from the Greek word for freedom. I asked their elected
Hey,
president,
my
Saps,
boy.
about the Sultanate.
Hopefully
Saps?
we can establish some peaceful relations for now. I mean, we're in the middle of a desert. Why fight, you know?
Overall, each
big
island had its
Saps.
own conflict between
That was the
desert's
homie, man. He
Sultan
was
dominance,
like
the plains'
the
Alliance disaster, the jungle's total chaos, and the Snow Empire's takeover,
He was
at
the,
least one of these conflicts
one
was
of the main
bound to
protagonists of
erupt
the new one.
very soon.
When Saps,
And that
man, they
conflict
chased him for so
was
long, bro.
Plains.
My boy
At
was
the beginning of
innocent.
day
Free my
4,
boy
a
Saps.
propagandist told everyone that
wanted to stay
Sidefall
out of
was
the
about
drama.
to
I
attack
respect that.
the Plains Island. Horus Crown called it
Sidefall's
red, and
attacking?
everyone on Plains was freaking out,
Yo.
including these guys at the center of the Plains Island who built a tavern on a lake. I spoke with the bartender.
That's so cool.
Welcome to the tavern. I hope you can enjoy a nice beer, since it might be our last.
Low key with this
So
big
at this
war
point, you're
on
probably
already.
wondering what was
How long are we into the
Sidefall
video?
actually doing?
12
Well,
minutes
it
and there's
turns
already a
out
war.
Sidefall was just as confused as everyone else since he had no plans to attack
Oh, this is day
anyone.
4.
The propagandist had lied.
I have no clue what these guys are talking about. I don't want to attack anyone. I don't want a civil war.
You were framed. I can't believe it. So now, both sides were gearing up for a war over nothing but a miscommunication. And all throughout, Sidefall was desperately trying to reach out to
Spood?
the other Plains leaders saying that he
Miscommunication?
didn't want war. The other leaders doubted him, but they actually agreed to meet with him as long as they met on neutral ground.
Whoever told you guys I want war is lying.
Tell us the truth then.
While they talked, Horus Crown secretly had undercover spies search Sidefall's entire village, but he wasn't aware Sidefall had someone else place a bunch of TNT under his village. But before things went
That's
too
how blow
far,
his stuff.
Folks, we have a peace deal.
Yeah, please, because
by the thinnest of margins, crisis was averted. After talking, the leaders
Yo.
had made a peace.
Sidefall
treaty.
was
I
kind
actually
of
didn't get
about
to see
it,
much
though.
of the meeting, but here's essentially
Sidefall's
what
kind of
happened.
about it. Brody was like, yo, I'm going to send spies to your stuff. Sidefall was like, nah, I'm sending someone to blow your stuff up. He was not playing games, yo. Sidefall. Whew. He is not playing.
Sidefall first apologized to the other Plains leaders for not being open with them, specifically about his relationship with the
I
Snow
bet.
Island. He told them he had only reached out to Snow in hopes to get on the good side of a player named A Freaking Turkey, who was apparently
remember him.
Olanulo's second in command. The Plains leaders discussed their disagreements on foreign relations, Horus Crown preferring keeping alliances within Plains, and Sidefall believing in making allies on other islands. But they were able to put their differences aside. They banished the propagandist from the Plains Island, and at the end, the four
That's
major
ironic.
Plains nations created a Great Plains Alliance.
Because he was the one spreading
the Plains Island
propaganda
went
in the
from
next
being on
one.
the brink of
Sidefall.
war to being the most united island of all. And it
Aw.
wasn't just Plains. Toward the end of the day, all four islands were prospering. From the people
Wow.
on Snow collecting resources and building together,
day 4?
to the people in the desert working on the Sultan's
Nice.
Build project, which was to create a massive holy city. Even the jungle was at peace at the end of day 4, since the remaining jungle people were just thankful that they were still alive. Soon though,
Makes
it was the
sense.
next day. But before we let people back
People
onto
died.
the server, the admins and I decided to add a little something.
Natural disasters? The fifth island in the middle?
We added a fifth island in the center of the world, and we didn't tell the players that we did this. We wanted to see who would discover the island, how long it would take to find, and then what would happen next. So, we started up the
That's
server,
funny.
and the wait began.
Well, there's already stuff there.
But meanwhile, we have to
Are there
talk about the
villagers
Snow
or something?
Island.
Are they villagers?
Hello, Turkey!
Hello, Itch. How's it going?
On day 5, the player A Freaking Turkey finally gave me a full explanation of the mysterious Snow Empire, which I found out was named the Aculon Empire.
Interesting.
Still fearing for his safety, the Empire's founder, Olanulo, gave orders entirely from his secret underground bunker, while his second in command, A Freaking Turkey, carried out his orders and led the people on the ground.
That's
You guys have
hilarious.
settlements across the entire
Oh,
island.
that was
There
the
is a lot. I just
Magically,
know
that was
none
that
of it
Barbie
was made by
world
slaves.
person.
The Empire relied on strict order to maintain peace. It's now 200 citizens were each assigned a daily job like building, mining, or fighting. And whenever they were online, all citizens were required to be in 2 Discord voice channels at once, which I didn't even know was possible. Also, the Aculon Empire made it a point to document everything, including its list of members, its hierarchies, its physical landmarks. But what I found most impressive was the high-level operation going on in this seemingly regular building.
This singular building is the richest place in the entire server.
They called this the Quartermaster's house, and it was where the Aculon Empire not only collected and stored all its resources, but also distributed items using a complex request system, where, for example, a citizen asks for iron ingots, and then the Quartermasters decide exactly how much iron that citizen deserves based on a detailed algorithm they developed. Has anyone tried breaking into this place?
What?
Not yet. Let's just say if you tried to get in with
They got the Star Wars the freaking the ration system. You remember in the beginning of the Force Awakens, like 1/4 portion. They got that. That's crazy. So I guess the niggas that were like working the most, that built the most stuff, they got the most iron ingots and stuff like that. I wonder what that algorithm was though. Like, what was it based off? And that man had spreadsheets. That is crazy detail. In the other video, I didn't see anything like that, that people were like that organized. But they had seemingly more things. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's just because there were more people on each island individually. I don't know, though. This is interesting.
Not gonna get a very nice welcome.
And I kid you not, just a few minutes later, this player, Xelius, was caught trying to sneak his way in, and he was sentenced to a public execution to be held the next day. Things are kind of strict around here, huh?
As long as
it's super strict.
I'm a happy man. Oh man, look at him.
The Snow Island continued to be hyper-vigilant about criminals, but so were other nations, like the Desert Sultanate, which made
Snow
an
Island said,
inescapable
nah,
prison
that's not
surrounded by lava. Or Wazix Nation in the jungle, which made a giant sand trap. Oh, this is evil.
Just you wait until we have a nice little deliberation with some.
Yeah, I'm gonna be put to death, you know. Like,
even planes didn't feel exactly safe, as this self-described capitalist nation made a giant wall to protect its people.
We want to make sure that communists cannot take this away from us.
But as I was talking to these guys, I got tipped off from someone in the desert that something big was about to happen. The Sultanate army's on the move. The Sultan sent his elite squad on a secret nighttime mission.
Where are they
Their
going?
goal? To find a group of people that had been rumored to want to assassinate the Sultan. They're at the north side of the island now.
Who's moving like that?
Oh yeah, okay, this is our target,
Who's moving against the Sultan, bro?
According to the Sultan, the people hiding in this little settlement
What
were
did he
indeed the
do?
attempted assassins, and now the group had a decision to make.
Oh, we're gonna kill this guy.
Do we kill this guy?
Up until now, there hadn't been any violence between desert nations. Will this be the breaking point?
They have silver armor? It's over. How they planning assassin? Well, I guess that's probably why they're planning the assassin.
To kill me, justice will come for you.
The Sultan's elite squad spent the rest of the night raiding the settlement, but during their chase of another suspected assassin, they ran literally into a major dilemma.
We know he's running to Theria.
The guy they were trying to kill was running toward the democratic nation of Theria to get asylum there. The Sultanate is really about to roll up on Theria. Holy, this could cause a major conflict. But the Sultanate's army didn't care. They barged into Theria and searched every single house to find this one person who ultimately ended up getting away. Meanwhile, the people of Theria were freaked out by the raid, but when they looked to their leader Saps for guidance, he was nowhere to be seen. He had fled.
He
Eventually,
dipped?
the Sultanate's army left.
Saps.
But Theria was not going to forget this.
Honestly, I'm not surprised, but still, what is that? Why would he dip when his city was being invaded? Where did he go? Execution of Xelius.
By attempting to blow up the Quartermaster's
Dripstone
house,
execution.
Xelius betrayed our people, and for this, he must die. Glory to Aculon.
It was a busy day for A Freakin' Turkey. The execution was successful, but the Empire didn't yet have a written constitution or a justice system. So A Freakin' Turkey met with a player who claimed to be a lawyer to set up a legal system.
You get the smaller seat, unfortunately, but do know it is quite important as well.
I'm used to cramming into tight spaces.
Afterward, A Freakin' Turkey took his guard to Drew and confronted some farmers who he claimed weren't producing enough food for the Empire.
I swear I will not miss any payment I have to owe you.
Drew, the bow, please.
They're gonna kill him?
I expect 5 stacks of bread delivered within 1 to 2 business days.
Even though he was a little tyrannical at times, A Freakin' Turkey was actually becoming very well liked in the Aculon Empire because he got things done and he was a charismatic speaker.
Fellow citizens, it is my distinct honor to pronounce Steve and Pixel as husband and wife.
Oh, okay.
See, even though he was only the second in command of the Snow's Aculon Empire, many people were starting to view A Freakin' Turkey as a better candidate for leader than Alanulo, since most people in the Empire had never even seen Alanulo, given that he's been hiding underground the entire time, afraid of being assassinated. In fact, some of his own citizens weren't even sure he existed, while Alanulo...
They didn't even know he was a myth, bro. Honestly, if you're gonna run a Shadow Empire, low-key, that's kind of how you have to do it. You gotta be like, yo, nobody knows I'm here. Nobody knows I exist. But I'm just gonna, you know, puppet. He's doing the Palpatine, basically. Just running things from the shadows with the Clone Wars, except he's probably not evil. He's just doing it for the civilization and not trying to get killed in the process. But why would he be afraid of assassination? I guess just that's just a general fear. But, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. That's cool. That's so funny, though, that they think he's a myth. They don't even think he's real. He should at least come out once in a while, just to, like, give a little, like, statement to the people to be like, hey, this is what's going on, guys. I'm actually the leader. This is the second in command. You know what I'm saying? But I guess he's just valuing his privacy and his safety that much, which is fine. Oh. Okay. Let me adjust the camera. Did I just accidentally adjust the camera? I did. It's probably fine right here, but can we move it up a little bit? Get up a little bit, buddy. Okay. I'll stop it here. There we go. Gotta do the little gesture and get back to the video.
Far, only talking with high-ranking officials, A Freakin' Turkey was considered a man of the people, someone who talks to everyone. In fact, A Freakin' Turkey had gained so much notoriety that leaders of other nations were starting to reach out to him for alliances rather than to Alanulo. So, as a result of all of this, Alanulo was starting to get a little worried.
Turkey knows that I created this empire and its entire political system, and as long as I am alive, I will be its only ruler.
This guy. Why? Oh, this is A Freakin' Turkey gonna go on like a power trip? Be like, the people like me more than you. I deserve to be leader.
Here on the Jungle
Is he
Island,
gonna do that?
haven't slowed down one bit. Amidst the chaos, this small group had made
Honestly,
a
I could see
monkey
it.
religion, and their goal
Honestly, I
was
could
to
see
build
it.
the biggest tree in the entire world.
The monkey never
Whoa.
While everyone else is
Monkey
fighting
religion?
and killing each other, we are peacefully building.
By
Monk
now,
circle.
every
They're
tribe in
returning
the
to
jungle
monk.
seemed to have its own goal. These guys building a tree. This group, called
That's
the
so
Blue
cool.
Cross, provided food and shelter to refugees.
Cross again?
Meanwhile, Wazak's goal, which was still to take over the world, was seemingly driving him mad, especially after the librarians built a second tower. You did this out of spite, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, no. Well, yeah.
Overall, it seemed like there was a lot on
said, well,
Wazak's
no,
mind, as
yeah.
if he was planning something big.
What is his
Seth
plan to take
and
over the
sea
world? What is he
people were
even
still
doing?
the two biggest tribes in the jungle. And
How's he
both
not making
pursued
plays? I haven't
very
really heard him
innovative
do anything.
political strategies. For example, Seth got married, but only so he could parade around the jungle and demand wedding gifts from everyone. And you know what? It freaking worked. The sea people, on the other hand, had taken on a massive goal, which was to finally end the chaos in the
Skywalker
jungle.
Vader.
And they did this by sending out stealth groups and hunting down thieves, murderers, and anyone who they claimed did wrong. However, some of the supposed
vigilante
wrongdoers
justice.
they killed were actually allies of Seth. In response, Seth demanded that the Sea People stop their initiative immediately, but the Sea People planned to continue. All of a sudden, the jungle island was on the verge of a massive war,
Civil
as
war?
if there wasn't enough chaos
It will be
already.
civil war without it. The Pokemonkey
Wait, is someone actually here?
or the Pokemon Key?
Whoa, this is crazy. This is awesome, man.
On day 7, a player named the Pokemonkey discovered the secret 5th island. The island had a mysterious dead terrain, a small
There's an
pre-built
Enderman?
village in the center, and underground, it contained netherite, which is the strongest and rarest
Netherite.
resource in the world. Now,
netherite
Pokemon was a
mine.
part of Sidefall's nation in Plains, and he quickly alerted Sidefall about the very strange and unexpected discovery he'd just made. He's taking the blue lantern so people believe him. Guys, I'm not lying, there really is an island! 2 minutes later, another person found the center island. This time, someone from the jungle. Then, like a domino effect, more and more people started arriving, typically either alone or in small groups, like these guys from the desert. Even though they all came from different islands and nations, nobody was fighting. In fact, they seemed to be forming friendships and simply admiring this new mysterious place. He's saying this is
Honestly.
amazing. Quickly, word began spreading across the world that there
Makes
was
sense.
a 5th island, and about 30 minutes into day 7, basically everyone knew. It was crazy how fast everyone found out. Now, some nations were hesitant about visiting, believing that the island was some sort of trap, while other nations like
Makes
the
sense.
Aculon Empire sent out large exploratory groups to investigate the island. So Aculon is here, but instead of mining for netherite, they're taking the wool from the tents. Oh, they don't have sheep in the snow island. That makes sense.
They're like,
Something I
"Whoa,
found
give me that."
interesting was that no nation, not even the Snow Empire, had the courage to publicly claim the center island as part of their nation, as their territory.
Yeah, that would
Probably
start.
because it
That would
resulted
start
in
something.
conflict with other nations, which
Yeah, that
was
would
my
start
secret
something
intention when
huge.
adding the island, that it would cause some type of war, but it didn't cause a war. Or
Not yet.
maybe just
Not until they see that
not
netherite
yet.
is there. Once they find out that netherite is there, guarantee you, they start tweaking.
I present to you the story of Los Pollos Hermanos.
Because I don't even play Minecraft like that, but I forgot
you've
that
really
netherite
expanded
was
your
like
business.
the
Yeah, we're
strongest
doing
thing.
quite well.
My
Because
nephew
starvation was such a
plays it
big
a lot.
problem in the desert, Drip Chicken had made it
kinda
his
put me
life's
onto
mission
that.
to feed the people of the desert. And ever since I spoke with him on day 2 next to his little food stand, Los Pollos Hermanos had become a staple
thriving
of
now.
the Sultanate. But this business would soon run into some problems. See,
What
on
about
days
KFC?
4 and 5, the Sultan Storming Hell was unsatisfied with the slow progress on his build project, the Holy City. So he demanded that the farmers of the Sultanate stop growing food and instead work on his build project. And just like that, the food supply going into Los Pollos Hermanos had completely stopped. The restaurant suddenly had no food available to sell. Having no food, Drip Chicken was instead forced to sell some questionable products, and if he was caught selling these products by either the Sultan or the Sultan's twin guards, he would probably receive a life sentence in the Sultanate prison. Meanwhile, the farmers of the Sultanate were unhappy since they wanted to
Nobody had
farm,
food,
not be
bro.
forced to build. So in
Yeah.
a rebellious move on day 5, Drip Chicken and the farmers secretly set up a meeting with Saps, the leader of Theria.
Yo, they're about to defect?
I know you want to move to Theria, but if you do, the Sultan will send his elite squad to hunt you down.
So, what do we do?
Go to Plains or something. There's about to be chaos in the desert.
And Saps was correct. There was about to be chaos in the desert for reasons
And what
he
is
couldn't tell the
Saps on,
farmers
though?
just yet.
Where was
but
he?
did tell
When
me.
his city got
You know who
invaded.
Davert is?
Yeah, I think so. He's one of the twin guards, right?
He's about to leave the Sultanate and join me.
Really? The two people the Sultan trusts
Oh.
the most are his two twin guards.
guards.
The brothers,
Even the
Davert
guards
and
are leaving?
Zamda. But one of them had grown tired of the authoritarian and warmongering ways of the Sultan. So
Yeah.
Davert had reached out to the leader of Theria, and together they created
Yeah,
the
get him outta
single
here, man.
craziest plan I have ever heard. And this was it.
Oh.
First, Davert leaves the Sultanate to join Theria. Next, the Sultan finds out about the betrayal and sends his elite squad to kill Davert. Then, when the elite squad is away hunting for Davert and the Sultan is therefore alone, Davert
They're gonna
will sneak
assassinate him?
back into the Sultanate and kill the Sultan. Davert will then claim leadership over the Sultanate, and as the new leader, he will finally bring peace to the desert. Davert, there is no way this
That's a
works.
play.
Grow some chest hair. Trust me, you'll work, alright?
So at the end of day
You
7,
said grow some
Davert
chest.
snuck out of the Sultanate and headed to Theria to begin the operation.
That's cold. That's a
while
cold
Drip
plan.
Chicken and the farmers fled
I like
to the
it.
Plains
I'm not gonna
Island.
lie.
On their way out, some of them took one final
But
look
doesn't
back
you
at
think
their
there's gonna be
home,
some
at
guards
their
that stay?
restaurants, knowing
You better
that they
take a
would
squad. Like, don't go as
probably
just
never see
you.
it again,
Come on now.
knowing that the story of Los Pollos Hermanos had come to an end.
Rest in peace to the Chicken Brothers. The brother chicken, bro.
On day 8, there was a major event on the Snow Island. For the first time ever, Emperor Alanielo had come out from his underground bunker.
What
had
if he gets
summoned the entire
assassinated
Snow
first time
Islands
out?
to the Aculon Castle,
Okay,
so
that's what I
he
was
could publicly
expecting.
be crowned as the leader.
Okay.
Before the coronation, all
Is he about to
high-ranking officials
stage
were
a coup,
required
bros?
to provide Alanielo a gift.
I present to you a high-quality pair of premium brand sneakers.
Thank you, Applewood.
I, Baron Saul Goodman, give you this present, Lord Alanulo. My presence is your present.
After the gifts,
Yo.
Alanulo asked his second-in-command, A Freakin' Turkey, to make a speech affirming Alanulo's undisputed
That guy's on his
leadership.
ego right now. He said, "My
friends,
presence
the
is your
Aculon
presence."
Empire is the strongest nation in the world. Not because of one leader, but because of all of us.
He's about to stage a coup, bro.
At the end of the ceremony, Alanulo asked all
Turkey's
of
gonna
his
stage a
citizens
coup.
to follow him out of the castle, down the main path of
Are
the
they gonna
empire,
kill him?
in a symbolic move meant to showcase the unity of the Snow Island.
Okay. Yo, they're
This
lagging
image of
behind.
unity was only a mirage. There was a lot of discontent building within the empire for many reasons. People didn't like that Alanulo's knights were constantly bossing them around, nor did the Aculon builders like it when Alanulo forced them to work on the Aculon castle instead of letting them finish their own projects. There was this general sense that Alanulo might be overreaching with his power, especially when he started spying on his own citizens to see who was criticizing his leadership. See, Alanulo believed that in order for his citizens to have a good life, they have to live in a strong nation, and the only way to maintain a strong nation was through complete unity under a powerful and unchallenged leader. This is why Alanulo was fearful about the discontent within his nation, as well as the rising popularity of
freaking
his
Turkey.
second-in-command, A Freakin' Turkey.
I'm surprised he hasn't staged a coup yet.
Knowing that
Oh,
they
you
were
gave him
being
a rose?
spied on,
Aw.
many of A Freakin' Turkey supporters were becoming scared living on the Snow Island, afraid that they would be executed for not supporting Alanulo's leadership. So, with the help of A Freakin' Turkey, plus another high-ranking official, its Ender, some Aculon citizens organized secret evacuations out of the Snow Island through underground tunnels, some of which led to Seth's nation in the jungle, others going to Sidefall's nation nation in Plains. Both Seth and Sidefall were very open to accepting refugees, especially those who opposed Olanulo, someone who they believed to be a dangerous tyrant. Also, they had just found out that Olanulo had actually sent spies all across the world, including into their own nations, so they didn't like him very much.
Bruh.
We're not going back until there's some form of democracy in Snow.
I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Bruh.
Meanwhile in Plains, Mr. Turkey, are you starting a revolution?
Democracy
No, I do not want a revolution. I just want to make sure Olanulo doesn't kill these people.
When are you going back to the Snow Island?
Probably tomorrow, because I'm gonna try and.
Olanulo is going crazy.
I just think he's gone too far.
So while a freaking Turkey stayed on the Plains
Here's
Island
the
for the
coup.
rest of the day, Seth
Is he
and
gonna
Sidefall created the first ever multi-island treaty. This
Oh,
treaty
wow.
not only established Seth and Sidefall as allies, but it also declared their nations refugee states, ones that are willing to accept all people fleeing from
Snow Island.
dictatorial regimes like the Sultanate or the Akulon Empire. As for a freaking Turkey's position in the Akulon Empire, he was still technically the second in command, but it was only a matter of
basically
time
first
before
in command.
Olanulo finds out about the missing citizens, and then it's very likely that Turkey will be stripped of his position or be kicked out of the Snow Island entirely and become a refugee himself.
Refugee, bro. As the second in command, you can't go out like that, Turkey. No way he's gonna go out sad like that.
Wait, is
honestly.
that a basketball court? On day 8,
They're
the
hooping?
Center Island was
In
getting
the
a
Center
lot of
Island?
visits from curious players, and instead of fighting each other, everyone was just kind of hanging out
They're
and doing
hooping?
their own thing.
Look at this.
That's hilarious.
What is this? Don't question me.
That's how they should fight the wars,
Later
honestly.
that night,
Just have
adventurers
the
started terraforming the dead
leaders.
terrain, making it green.
if there's a
This actually was not bad.
if there's a dispute,
These
just
guys, meanwhile,
get
made
the
a
leaders
secret
to run a
underground
1v1.
church, and they hosted many ceremonies and cultural events. What type of ritual is this? Now, I actually attended
What?
2 churches on day 8. The second one in Sidefall's nation, although I was very disturbed by the person sitting next to me.
Who is that? What the heck?
Life began to feel more sacred.
He just quickly put on clothes. Disturbing the key. What? Can I show this? Do I need to filter?
Way to
Bro, what is
leave
this?
Whoa, what did
What are they doing to him?
Taking him away.
Public?
Oh,
Is it
no.
for like
Later that
public
night, The
indecency?
Plains Island received an unexpected visit from the Akulon Empire's state-sponsored journalist. I'm with the news.
State-sponsored journalist.
Down with the news. Go away, tabloids. Go away. No false news today. They're kicking out the
Fake
journalists. Oh my God. Meanwhile, I ran into these Plains
Fake
farmers
news.
who literally did nothing but plant wheat everywhere. Oh my God.
Look at all this freaking wheat.
Now, right next to the wheat field was a cookie factory in Horus Crown's nation, which took the wheat and made a variety of baked goods. See, ever
Oh,
since the Great
cool.
Plains Alliance was signed on day 4, the people of Plains believed their island to be, for the most part, a very safe place to live, and as a result, many players felt secure enough to run their own businesses. There was the bakery, an Outback Steakhouse, boating and kayaking, 2 KFCs, and there was the most
2?
recent addition, Los Pollos Hermanos.
Oh, they're franchising?
You made one in the Plains biome?
Yes. Expansion.
Yo.
Refugee status. Drip Chicken and the
Los
Sultanate
Pollos
farmers received
Hermanos
citizenship
with the
inside Falls Nation,
franchising.
where they were able to rebuild their famous restaurants.
Let's
and the people of
go.
Plains welcomed the refugees with open arms. The only
Let's
person
go,
who
my
wasn't happy
boy.
was the owner of KFC, who now had competition.
Yep.
Anyway,
Come on now,
when
you
word
know
got out in the desert
competition
that Drip Chicken and the
breeds,
farmers had fled the Sultanate, as did Davrit,
powerful
many
stuff.
loyalists in the Sultanate were furious with these betrayals. While the Sultanate was still the second most powerful nation in the world, the first being Akulon, these betrayals of the Sultanate
Seems like the
hurt
power.
the Sultan's public image, and he feared being seen as weak by the world and by his own people. So
Seems like the ones with the most
Sultan
power
sent
have the
his elite
least
squad
stability
out
right now.
into the desert to try to find
Crazy.
and kill both Davrit and Drip Chicken.
Crazy.
But instead of staying home in the Sultanate, this time the Sultan traveled with his elite squad. This threw a wrench into Davrit's assassination plan,
Yo.
and Davrit had no choice but to keep hiding underground until he saw an opportunity to strike.
He actually
Meanwhile,
stood on
the leader
business?
Of Theria, Saps, was
The Sultan
extremely
stood on
worried
business?
because he knew that the fate of his
Joe
nation and
Fields in
his
there?
people rested on this assassination attempt. If it succeeds and the Sultan is killed, well, then all is well. But if it fails, it will only be a matter of time before the Sultan finds out that Saps was behind
Yeah.
the plan, and then there
And then
is
there's
no
gonna be a
doubt
war.
that the Sultan will seek revenge and absolutely obliterate Theria, killing not just Saps, but all
But
his
the people.
who, by the way, were entirely innocent. Saps purposefully didn't tell any of his citizens that he was involved in an assassination plot because they definitely wouldn't approve of something that puts them in such danger.
Fluid
All of
Son's
this
in
tension
there?
in the desert was really starting to get to some people.
He was
like
in
this
his
group, which made a
nation?
giant lava wall
What?
around.
That's crazy. He was actually in Saps' nation in this video. Did they even meet? Did they have like any relevant conversations? What?
Their civilization. They wanted nothing to do with
Fluxion?
the politics of the desert.
I gotta call
and
him
they were rather
Fluxion because that's the
paranoid
only name
about
people know him by.
everything.
The walls keep us safe. We can't leave the walls for long because then we're not safe. Everyone inside the walls is safe. Everyone outside is not safe. They're strangers. We shouldn't trust them.
Dang,
By the way,
okay.
also don't push any buttons you find in here.
Okay. I actually think this group was more of a cult than a civilization, but
Yeah.
still, I think they had the right idea.
What kind of buttons is that? What kind of buttons she talking
And
about?
now we go back to the Jungle War.
That's definitely cultish.
I say war because both
he
major
gonna jump
nations had
off?
already basically decided that they cannot coexist in the jungle. Seth was mad at the Sea People for killing many of his allies, while the Sea People were mad because Seth wouldn't let them kill those who they believed to be criminals. Neither nation was willing to compromise on this, so war seemed
Why don't they just
inevitable.
lock him up?
However, because
They
Seth
wanted to
also
fight.
recently formed an alliance with Sidefall from Plains, a war between the two jungle nations would likely cause Sidefall, as well as the rest of the
Step in.
Plains Island, to join the battle,
Yeah,
thus turning this into an actual world war. So, given that the stakes were so
I
much
have
higher,
7-Eleven
now,
signs.
both sides agreed to have one final meeting to maybe work things out. It was
Honestly,
Wazak
you
who
probably
quickly
should.
offered his nation as a good neutral location for the meeting, and he was
Isn't
quite
he trying to take
enthusiastic
over the
about
world?
hosting. On day 8, Seth and
He's
the
just
Sea
yapping.
People sent their highest-ranking officials to Wazak's nation, where the meeting would take place.
He's yapping, bro. He just wants to take over the world, right? You better get some dripstone then. bro.
Alright, Seth. You're up first.
I think the Sea People are killing people for a lot of irrational reasons. So, you know, as an example, right? They had 5 stacks of cookies taken from them. That takes like 3 minutes to get, bro. And he's like, I don't think you should murder someone over that.
We requested he give it back, and he basically said no, so he was put on KOS and we killed him.
So that was exactly what Seth just said.
Let me add some context.
Here they go.
Soon, the argument began to escalate.
Yeah, they're done. Just go to war. Y'all don't wanna. Y'all don't want
Do we
peace.
have to stop the chaos in the jungle?
They
go
stole.
to
They
war.
deserve to be killed over it.
Do you really want to go to war over this?
Well, if you
Y'all
keep
should just
killing
run the
people,
ones.
then we won't just stand by and watch.
All right,
Just run the
let's see
ones.
people declare war.
All right, let's do it.
But before a fight could begin,
They just
Wazak
wanna fight.
yelled,
Double, no!
Is he gonna kill him? Alright, Wazak. Alright, Wazak. Okay, that's a big play, Wazak. Alright, Wazak is on timing. Alright, Wazak is on timing. There we go. He needed to take advantage of that.
Wazak had just killed 7 people using his sand trap before getting away.
That's
And
lit.
The Sea People decided to put their war on hold and declared a unified worldwide
What?
manhunt for Wazak. Everyone
Okay,
was
he's
confused
stupid.
about why Wazak did this, but then I
He
remembered
didn't get
something
Seth?
Wazak had told me the day before.
Listen, if the war breaks out, I have a plan to stop it.
Really? How?
Oh, you'll see, my friend.
When Seth and the Sea People declared war on each other, Wazak decided to use his sand trap and make himself the villain, so that the entire jungle would make peace to unite against him, therefore
Oh,
actually
whoa.
preventing a world war.
Wait, he's actually 400 IQ. Alright, never mind. Hey, Wazak, you're standing on business.
After spending most of the previous day
Wazza
trying
gets
to
standing
hunt
on
down his
business.
enemies, the Sultan
Yo.
Storming Hell decided to take a break from the
That's
hunt and attend a wedding
crazy.
hosted by a small neighboring desert nation. It was a huge honor in the desert for the Sultan to visit your civilization, so there was a lot of buzz surrounding the Sultan's visit, and everyone in the desert knew he would be there. Zamta the Twin Guard was also at the
Someone's
wedding,
getting
and he was
assassinated.
quite thankful for the break since he secretly despised
Day
having to
9.
hunt for his own brother. When the Sultan demanded that Davrit be tracked down and killed, Zamta was horrified by this order, but he kept
bet.
silent, fearing that he'd be next. Zamta could only hope that Davrit was far away now, hiding in a place where the Sultan would never find him. But it turned out Davrit was not far away at all, because he was on a
underneath?
mission.
Was he gonna break through the top? How is he even up
He's
there?
actually here.
Is he underneath it or above it? I can't tell. Oh, is he inside it?
Davrit was coming to kill the Sultan, but he had to be sneaky because the Sultan was guarded by his elite team. The plan was to catch him and his team off guard since it would only take a few hits to kill him.
Why is it that it would only take a few hits? If everyone's wearing diamond armor, but are the swords just like way stronger than the diamond armor?
Did the wedding end?
Does it only just like give you a couple of seconds to survive? He's out of there? Davrit, this plan is garbo, I'm not gonna lie. This is a garbage plan, bro. Oh?
Davrit!
Did he get him?
Holy crap! Oh! He's hit him so many times! Wait, Storming's getting away? The elite team is on Davrit big time! Oh!
How's Davrit not dead?
Oh! Oh, he's getting close! He's getting close! Oh, he turned around? Holy crap!
This is
Everyone's
a
here!
terrible plan.
This is insane!
He's not making it out of there. This was like a terrible plan. Unless if he gets him and gets out of here, that's crazy. Yeah, Davrit was slain, of course. What did he think was gonna happen? That was the most boneheaded play I've ever seen, bro. He actually just ambushed him out in the open with his squad around him and expected it to work. Bro, if you're gonna... And Saps killed him? Bro, what? What
Saps is
type
on his
of...
way back home, I think. What is happening?
This is what Saps was gonna do last time too. When the world hated him, he was just gonna jump off that tower. Like, what, bro? This is so boneheaded, bro. Oh, is his brother gonna finish the job? He could have been done that.
What?
He could have been done that.
Oh,
He should have been done that, honestly.
Angry about the death of his brother Davrit, Zamta betrayed and killed the Sultan Storming Hell in what he called an act of revenge. All of a sudden, within the span of a few minutes, Storming Hell,
should have picked
Saps,
up-
and Davrit were all dead. Both
Saps
the
just
Sultan
killed
and
him.
Antheria were without a
Saps took
leader,
himself
and the
out.
desert island was in a state of total confusion. Now, because the Sultanate didn't have a solid line of succession, there was a short power struggle that ended with the Sultanate getting completely dissolved. On day 9,
Wow,
the second
it's
most
gone.
powerful nation in the world had fallen, and most of the Sultanate's citizens ended up fleeing. That being said,
All that
it
power
wasn't
just to get
totally the
overthrown
end.
and killed.
Some who were still loyal to the late Sultan decided to form their own militias, whose only goal was to track down Zamta and avenge the Sultan.
We are called by our divine leader to kill the dirty traitor. Mashallah.
Oh my gosh.
Theria, on the other hand, didn't dissolve and instead elected a new leader, a player named Jophiel, who was well liked and trusted in the community. Still, the people of Theria would continue to live in a state of fear, afraid they would be invaded by one of the new desert militias. Also, they would never find out why their founder Saps jumped off the Therian tower, which he did because of guilt. After he saw Davarit die, Saps believed that the Sultan would invade and destroy Theria, and he felt too ashamed knowing that he would be responsible. It was only thanks to Zamta that the invasion didn't happen.
Man, this make. I'm glad that Saps stood on business the second time around, because this was way too emo. Like, come on, bro. You didn't even see how anything played out before you decided to do that. You just did the timing. He just did the timing and was like, alright, well, I'm out.
So after the lockdown, Alanilu sent his diplomats to the desert to offer support to the Sultanate militias.
Oh, wow.
At the same time, on the Plains Island, Drip Chicken of Los Pollos Hermanos was watching the desert from afar, and he was worried about these rumored desert militias. Because Drip Chicken was from the desert, he was able to educate his customers in Plains about the politics of the desert, and after Saps' death, he encouraged Sidefall to send diplomats to Theria quickly, and Sidefall did just that. On day 9, Theria officially joined Seth and all the Plains nations in the refugee state contract, and what originally started as a simple refugee agreement between Seth and Sidefall had now turned into a worldwide alliance called the Alliance of Democratic Nations, or put simply, the Allies.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So are they allying against Homeboy in the north? Is that what this is?
As the people of the Aculon Empire continued their daily routines, the highest-ranking officials of the Empire gathered to discuss the new existential dilemma they were now facing. The Aculon Empire had always been the most powerful nation in the world, and it still technically is, but when adding together the populations of all the states in the Democratic Nations Alliance, it is the allies that have more people overall. This made Aculon officials extremely worried. They saw this as the first legitimate threat to the regime. Alanilu agreed with this view, but at the moment, his attention was on another problem entirely. The problem known as African Turkey.
Yeah, he's too worried about losing power to his boy.
Always bothered Alanilu, but now this conflict was at an absolute breaking point because yesterday, one of Alanilu's spies caught a freaking Turkey helping snow citizens flee the Empire. Fleeing or defecting was strictly against Aculon law. Alanilu's spy also saw a freaking Turkey hanging out with not just Sidefall, but nearly all the major Plains leaders.
He's just gonna be a dictator. He's setting himself up for failure.
Is a freaking Turkey planning something? Is he secretly working with the allies? Is he about to orchestrate a full-scale revolution or an invasion of the Aculon Empire? These were all questions that Alanilu was wrestling with, and the more he thought about it, the more he convinced himself that a freaking Turkey was probably committing some sort of treason and needed to be stopped. Yesterday, a freaking Turkey had reached out to Alanilu for a meeting.
He's too lean,
and today, Alanilu accepted
He's
this request,
90% lean on him.
with a few conditions. 1, this meeting takes place at the Aculon Castle. 2, Turkey comes alone. And 3, the meeting takes place not today, but tomorrow, because Alanilu needed some extra time for his builders to finish a certain project located on the top of the Aculon Castle. Nobody knew why or what the strange-looking tower was, but Alanilu insisted it be completed by the time Turkey shows up.
Is it a trap?
Tomorrow is certainly going to be interesting, so make sure everyone's ready.
Lastly, later in the day,
Alanilu
sent diplomats to establish alliances with both the desert militias and with the sea people in the jungle. Alanilu appreciated the sea people's value of order, and he promised that he will help them stop the chaos in the jungle and help them catch their #1 most wanted criminal, Wazak. The sea people accepted this alliance, but they ended up not needing Aculon's help because late into day 9, Wazak decided to turn himself in.
Yo.
He's about to be executed. A guilty conscience, perhaps.
Wazak.
All right, Wazak, I understand you have a prepared statement. You may now read your final words.
Yes, thank you.
Wazak went out sad for somebody who wanted to
In the beginning, I wanted to rule
take
the
over the
world,
world.
but I've made some bad decisions, and now it's my time to go.
Killed innocents.
Did he? Were they
If there's
innocent?
one thing I've learned is that time can never be your trusted friend.
What? What is he talking about? He's just yapping.
Long live the jungle.
What is he talking about? He just said some bullshit. What? He didn't even kill the relevant people in the war. He didn't stand on business with like trying to take over the world. And then he said some BS and killed himself.
After deciding
What
that
is
being
this?
a criminal in hiding isn't how
Wazak.
he wanted to live, Wazak
He went out
instead
sad.
chose to face his inevitable death on his own terms.
He
And
went
by
out
doing
sad,
so,
bruh.
He gave the jungle one last moment of unity.
Did he?
The conflict between
Said
the two
anyone else
major
jumping
jungle
is
tribes
crazy.
was still unresolved, especially
What is
now that
this
they were
jungle,
imposing
bruh?
alliances, but for
What the
this
heck's
brief
going on in the
moment,
jungle?
there
Bro said, anyone else jumping? Bro, what are y'all on? I thought y'all were chilling now.
was peace in the jungle. Well, that was fun. Everyone's coming down the street.
So crazy.
Most
That's so
nations
crazy.
around the world took the end of day 9 to rest and reflect on how far they've come. For example, the Jungle's Blue Cross tribe celebrated becoming international with at least one charity location on each island.
Nice.
Meanwhile, in the desert, the two Sultanate militias held a funeral for the late Sultan, where they vowed to get revenge and chanted death to Theria, after which they proceeded to finish building the Sultan's holy city in his honor. Theria, on the other hand,
What?
expanded its reach
They
into
still
the arts and
hooping
became
for
the first civilization to develop music.
Yo.
Oh.
That's so cool.
Lastly, on the Plains Island, businesses were booming and civilizations were thriving. On day 9, the Plains Island had finished the construction of the ISH, the International State Highway, which made trade and transportation between the major Plains nations much
That's
faster.
funny 'cause his name is
Overall,
Ish.
the building and
That was
architecture and player
teacher's pet
creativity
simping.
in Plains was
That's cute, though.
simply amazing, and it was all made possible by the political stability of the Plains Island. Many in the desert and jungle
They worked
and
together.
snow looked at Plains
made cool
as
stuff.
the shining beacon that they can aspire to be like one day.
Shout out to the Plains. I like that. I like to see that. Oh, what happened? Oh no.
As the end of the day approached, A Freak and Turkey returned to the
Oh, here we
Plains
go.
Tavern after spending the day traveling around the world, visiting civilizations in the jungle, the deserts, and of course the Plains Island. During many of his visits, he was very surprised when he found out that most people from these foreign nations not only knew about him, but admired him. This was because rumor had spread about his disobedience to Olanulo, and as a result, he had earned a worldwide reputation as the savior of refugees, the honorable rebel, the man who stood up to the emperor, and everywhere A Freak in Turkey went, he was welcomed with open arms.
This man about to rule the world, bruh. Avery in Turkey. Yo, they said this breaker of chains, mother of dragons. He's literally Daenerys right now.
The way I think he would have been perfect for that.
Yo.
Yeah, I heard there was a comedy
Mother
show
of
here.
turkeys.
You should've called me over.
When it came to the Akulon Empire,
Yo,
the truth
that's
was,
crazy.
A Freak in Turkey had no intention of causing any type of uprising or revolution. In fact, he was strictly against the idea, knowing just how devastating a major war would be. But he did want change in the empire. During his prolonged stay in Plains, He had seen what freedom and democracy look like. He had come to regret his more tyrannical actions in the early days, and he now envisioned a reformed Aculon Empire. His new dream was to bring democracy to Snow, bring freedom to the people of the Aculon Empire, and make the Snow refugees feel safe to come back home.
I might just be overly optimistic, but I think we can achieve world peace.
Okay. If a freaking Turkey is able to convince Alanielo to convert the Empire from a tyrannical dictatorship into a free democracy, and then the Aculon Empire ends up joining the Allies, then world peace wouldn't just be a far-fetched idea for wishful thinkers. It would actually happen. With this massive goal
that would be
in mind,
cool for a while.
a freaking Turkey prepared for
Until someone
tomorrow
decides to try to
for
mess
his
it up.
big meeting with Alanielo.
If they will. Who knows? They could just keep building cool stuff.
Just remember everything we talked about. We'll be
What are we
watching.
gonna say to him though?
Before a freaking Turkey took off for the Snow Island, he had met with the 4 major plains leaders one last time to tell them what he hopes to achieve in his upcoming talk with Alanielo. The Plains leaders were pessimistic. See, when they heard about Alanielo's strict conditions for the meeting to take place, they suspected that this was going to be the meeting where Alanielo removes Turkey from his second-in-command position, or worse, puts Turkey in Aculon's prison. Whatever happens today, the Plains leaders promised Turkey that he has the full support of the allied nations. Even if they can't attend the meeting, they will be watching and will do whatever they can to help him.
Okay.
There we go. Turkey is now back on the Snow Island.
Oh.
I think he's going to the meeting right away.
Yeah, he stands on business. Turkey don't play. He said, I'll pull up to the island with a bottle in hand, pull up to the meeting. The meeting's in the tower, bro? That can't... Nah, he's definitely gonna try to something. What is it gonna be, though? Is he bowing?
This is weird. Turkey's been at the castle for like a few minutes now, and Alanielo's nowhere to be seen.
Where is Alanielo? Is he in the
he's right
tower?
here.
Oh,
He's on
he's
his
got
way.
his stuff on? He's got that stuff on, bro. Kitted up. Ready for battle.
Here we go. Everyone's here now. I think everyone's here now. Knights come to the castle. Wow, I think these are all the high-ranking officials of Aculon. They're all here.
Hear ye, hear ye. All barons, Duke Turkey, and fellow knights have now come together to speak with Emperor Alanielo. Alanielo, would you please start the conversation?
Wait. Turkey, hold up. So before we begin, sorry to interrupt. I have a special thing I want to do real quick.
Wait.
Here,
Drew, not yet. I want to do something first.
So unserious.
Turkey, can you sit on the throne for a second?
Huh?
Why?
Just do it.
Huh?
Okay.
This is so unserious.
What are
Is
we
he gonna
doing?
hit him with dripstone?
Can I trust you, Turkey?
Yeah?
You like
He's
this,
gonna give
right?
it to him?
Sitting on the throne?
You put me on here. I don't know what you're talking about.
In front of all these people?
What are you getting on about?
I know that you've colluded with the Plains Alliance. And I know that you want to take over this nation. Take this throne for yourself.
Whoa. What?
There's nothing you can do at this point to convince me that you're not plotting a revolution against me. I caught you red-handed.
No! Alanielo! Yes, I've talked with Plains. I've also talked with Desert and Jungle. I am a diplomat. And I'll tell you this, all those people that I talked with will become our allies the moment we turn this place into an actual democracy.
Why are you secretly leading people off my island?
Because they thought you were going to kill them. And to be honest, so did I. So that's the point of this meeting. You want to get rid of me? You know what? How about I just leave, and you won't have to deal with me again? I'm just gonna go, okay?
He's gonna hit him with dripstone, bro.
Yeah, and then you'll come back with an army. I'm sorry, Turkey.
Oh, he's gonna drop him? Turkey, you gotta build or something, bro. Drop a... You gotta build or something, bro. You couldn't see that coming from like a mile away, bro. Now they're gonna kill Elanio and...
Oh!
Yo!
Wait, they're killing Turkey's supporters! They're hunting down his supporters as well!
Of course they
This
are.
is crazy. Like that, there was a purge on the Snow Island, and many of Turkey's supporters were killed. The few who were able to escape immediately swam to the other islands to tell everyone exactly what happened.
And all of the knights started executing Bernie, Ender, Turkey. They assassinated some of the most loved members of Akalon.
When African Turkey's death message appeared in chats, people around the world were outraged, and shortly after, the leaders of the allied nations started activating their militaries, putting them on standby.
Turkey wants
Now
to
the
sell
alliance
us
is gonna get
Westeros.
used.
I'm giving the army chicken for 50% off to make sure they're ready for battle.
Meanwhile,
Discount chicken.
Olajulo got word that the allies were preparing their armies, so he declared a full lockdown, reached out to his own
might get some
allies, and
chicken out
called
of
them
it.
to the Akulon Castle to be ready in case the allies declare war. And sure enough, when the Blaze leaders talked with Theria and Seth, the vote was unanimous. On day 10, the Alliance of Democratic Nations officially declared war on the Akulon Empire.
Hey, what's that
I just want
tower
to say, I
though?
wish you luck and great success. Hopefully, we all see some of you tomorrow to sign the Constitution of the
refugee
new
base,
Akulon
that's right.
Republic, the new Akulon Republic that we all dream about having. Thank you all.
This isn't about us. This isn't about
that's
our
enchanted.
lives. It's about getting justice for Turkey and
I think,
ridding
right?
the world of
That's why it's
tyranny.
purple. It's like
All
enchanted,
the
right?
allied nations met up at
Is
the
that what that is?
center island so they
I
could
haven't played
attack the
Minecraft.
Snow Island together.
I haven't seen that mechanic in a minute.
Today,
Yo, let's go. Yo, he's saying that with no armor, bro. You're cooked. If you don't have diamond armor or any armor at all, aren't you super cooked? What is he on? Or is he just wearing a skin or something? But he actually has no armor? I don't know.
But little did the allies know, Olajulo had set a trap. The Akulon builders had taken inspiration from history and created what they called the Iron Torch, the most advanced defensive tower in the world, complete with dangerous height, sturdy walls, arrow slits, and lava cover. This is crazy.
Lava cover? Are they gonna like drip lava into the city or something? That would be crazy. Yo, if they like dropped lava down into like the castle area, that would be diabolical.
Your trusted friend or your sworn ally. No, it's the harshest
If they
mistress
infiltrate,
of all.
that would be crazy, bro. And it's so tall too.
And life is just a chain of moments spent.
That is a really cool building, but forget Elanio, man. That dude's a bum. He definitely prevented himself from getting assassinated, but he kind of did the mustache man, where he like, you know, stopped trusting everybody around him. He's like isolated himself and then like unalived himself in GTA. Not in GTA, in actual that guy Trav, Ishvan. Crazy. Yo, they're going up. Oh, they are dripping the lava down. Yo. Dripstone? Oof. Yo, more dripstone? Yo. No, Zanta. That was the brother that killed the Sultan.
They're dropping lava on him.
Yo.
Watch out for the areas now. Keep going.
That is a really cool building. Really cool feat of what's it called? Architecture. I wanted to say archaeology. That's not it. TNT? They're just setting it off? Is that Alanyolo in the mix? That man's actually in there scrapping? Oh, that's the top of the tower, not the bottom. I'm tripping. Yo, they dropped him out of there? Bruh. LMAO. How did they do that?
What? Alanyolo died.
They just dropped him out of there. That's hilarious.
Soon after Alanyolo
I guess you could say he fell from grace.
The Aculon Empire officially surrendered.
Wait,
Yeah, let's go.
Still kill them.
But even though Aculon surrendered,
Still kill
the
them?
allies didn't stop fighting. No mercy, no mercy. They're all saying
No mercy? Y'all are just as bad as them, bro.
Like that, there was a purge on the
They just
Snow
want to
Island.
fight.
But this time, it was the supporters of Turkey doing the killing. It's just an absolute slaughter fest.
They just want to scrap.
After a while, the Allies had completely taken over the Iron Torch, and all the Aculon forces had either been killed or had fled the island and gone into hiding. And with that, the Alliance of Democratic Nations
Why do people do
had
that?
defeated
Why do they
the
jump off of
Aculon
ledges with a
Empire.
boat? Does the boat take the damage for the
It was
fall
only
and
when
like
the
you
war
don't
ended
lose any health?
and
Is
the
that what
clouds
happened?
parted that the Allies were finally able to reflect on what they had done. They
Yeah,
had
you just
succeeded,
murdered a bunch of people that
but
surrendered,
they had
bro.
also shown no mercy.
Yeah.
When their enemy surrendered, they continued to be ruthless and thirsty
Yeah.
for blood.
Yeah.
It was as if they had become their enemy.
Yeah.
As the Allies each safely returned to their homes, now with a clear mind, many of them felt regret.
Yeah, I bet.
Neither side was completely innocent, and the war was complicated.
They just
But
wanted
at
to scrap.
least it was over. And the Allies had won.
Did they really win though? Did they? I don't know if I consider that a win.
Over the next few days,
That's like
the
a
people
draw.
of Plains, Theria, Seth, and a few smaller nations created a world alliance with a massive parliament building on the center island where world
cool.
leaders met to discuss the affairs of their nations and, most importantly, to keep the peace. And the first order of business was pardoning the few living players who fought for Aculon so they
Okay.
didn't have to live in hiding.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the snow refugees were
They're
able to
kinda trying to
move
make
back
up
to
for
the
it,
snow island and create the new Aculon Republic, putting democracy in snow. They also tore
Hey.
down the remains of the Iron Torch and put in its place a graveyard honoring all who died in the Battle of Aculon. And
Interesting.
overlooking the graveyard was the man,
That's sad.
or Turkey, who inspired
Hey.
them all.
Big Turk. That's kind of cool. All right. I was wondering where they were going with that. I was like, that's kind of weak.
The
but
jungle
the turkey,
went back
yeah.
to hosting comedy
All right,
shows.
putting turkey
the
there's not
desert
bad.
went back to pursuing the arts, and Drift Chicken went back to running Los Pollos Hermanos. After all
Hey.
that happened throughout the days, things were finally settling down.
Hey. What was that? What was that flying thing?
For many players, the newfound peace allowed for new
Legal
stories
advice,
to begin.
$15.
But for us, it's a good place
Legacy.
to end.
Yeah, it is. That was a good video. Hey, turkey, boy. Hey, Turk. Big Turk. Big Turk. Hey, that was fun. W video, man. Ish. That was a good video. Hey, man. I really appreciate you, like, putting together all these large-scale Minecraft event videos and stuff. This is only the second one that I've seen, but still, like, this is amazing. The production value, the staffing that I'm sure needed to be on it. Man, this is just a super high-quality production. It's got to be definitely, as people are saying, for sure, the best YouTube video of 2025. I believe it. Not this one specifically, the Rich vs. Poor one, but I 100% believe it. Man. That's a W video right there. That's some good stuff right there. I like that a lot. Especially for it being like the second one that I see. Man. That's some powerful stuff, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. And with that said, let me know if you guys liked watching these videos and watching me react to them, because I'll definitely do some more. I definitely enjoyed them. So if you did, leave a comment below and like the video, subscribe. Go subscribe to Ish. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.